You don't have to be a feminist to respect a woman, you just have to be a goddamn human being. That was just clickbait. Come, let's have a healthy discussion. A few months ago, I read a story online about how a woman was returning from a night out in Mumbai. She narrated about her terror sitting in a cab all alone late at night in the vast metropolis. She was so scared of being sexually assaulted by the cab driver that she had to send her location to 2 different people. She also kept constantly chatting to them to give updates about her whereabouts. She reached home safe, but not without enduring tremendous amounts of stress during her journey. Now, I'm not ignorant to the large amounts of sexual assault cases out there, but this kind of paranoia sounded new to me. As I saw the comments and reactions, I realized that a lot of women actually go through this constant terror all the time, regardless of where they are. How has it become so normal for women to live under such fear, just doing something as basic as commuting? Then one night, I was returning home from a friend's place late in the evening. This was during a time when there were clashes in different parts of the country on the basis of religious grounds. I could tell that the auto driver belonged to a certain religion based on the art on his vehicle. As I sat in the auto, his behavior seemed odd and detached. It made me suspicious. As he took an unfamiliar route to drop me, I became increasingly anxious. What if he's taking me somewhere to lynch me? I suddenly became paranoid. How would I protect myself if on the next corner there are 3 guys waiting for me with knives? My body started going into survivor mode. I became alert, ready to jump if I had to. My fists were clenched. My heart was pounding. My stomach was gassy. I even became religious real quick, out of nowhere. There's a few million gods up there. Whichever one is up to the task, I'll get a tattoo of you on my soft skin. Just protect me. I'm happy to report that I'm not vlogging from the afterlife. The man got me home safe and even gave me the change with a smile. But then it struck me. For that moment, regardless of where I was, I couldn't bring myself to trust the man because of the incidences in other parts of the country. Now, in the case of women, how are they to trust any man from the numerous assault incidences from the past generations and probably from their own lives too? Did I really have to go through something like that to understand a fraction of what a woman goes through on a daily basis? It's not just late at night in cabs though. Women fight battles every day from their commutes, their workplaces, their schools, and even their own homes. Some battles are about assault, others about wanting to be treated like normal human beings in political, social, and economic aspects of society. Gentlemen, whether it is through our inability to control our sexual urges or through our need to power and dominate over things, it's high time that we realize how we are making this world unsafe and unfair towards women. Remember, a woman taking measures to protect herself isn't a preventative measure, it's already become damage control. Teaching a man not to assault, that is a preventative measure, but ultimately it's a full-time cause for humanity. So, what is the problem? Don't be mistaken, there is a problem. Women are statistically paid less, given less opportunities. They have to fight for bodily autonomy and their own reproductive rights. They are subjected to domestic and sexual violence in most parts of the world. According to the UN, 1 in 3 women worldwide have faced some sort of physical or sexual violence in their lifetimes. That number is higher in India, which is said to be the most dangerous country in the world for women, above Afghanistan, Syria, Somalia, and Saudi Arabia. So why has our race evolved in this manner that is lopsided towards women? History can explain. Her story. Our story? In the olden days, men would be the ones to go out and work because work required physical strength. On average, men have between 30 to 40% more body strength than women. Therefore, it made more sense for them to go out and do the heavy lifting. But since technology came into the picture, man's strength became obsolete. It meant that women could now come into the picture in terms of the economy, and rightfully so, they did. However, to oversimplify the complexities, men haven't responded well to having to share that importance and that authority. Because they started off on top of those hierarchies, society became structured in a way that allowed for political, social, and economic biases against women. And this goes on till today. So why do men behave in this manner? Our definitions of being men have become so favoring of masculine qualities that we assert dominance and power over anything that we consider weaker to compensate for our worth in every environment. The term coined for this behavior, yes, you may know it, is toxic masculinity. But this is a problem that actually prevails in our entire race. We exploit anything and everything that we have physical strength over, from the planet to animals, to women, to children. It's not just fathers that raise their hand on children, even mothers do. As a race, we do have a toxic identification with our physical strength. As men, because we usually, not always, have more physical strength than our counterparts, we tend to become the culprits of these injustices more often than not. I'm not saying that men don't get raped or assaulted. I'm just saying we seem to be the ones doing it more than everyone else. I don't know why it was ever cool to not care, but this scramble for dominance and this denial of emotion is costing us. It blunts our awareness of other people's needs and emotions. We start to feel like aggression is a reasonable way to solve conflict. It's not! Okay? 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 We want to prove ourselves to have more tolerance, which fuels more drug and alcohol problems. This manly behavior also fuels more domestic and sexual violence. We even refrain from seeking mental health care because of our inability to show vulnerability. Some of y'all can't even admit that you like to be the small spoon. Now, sex. For the next few seconds, don't think of bananas. And that is the case with sex in society. Society has made sex such a taboo that for some reason that is all we can think about. We need to have conversations about it from a younger age and treat it as a part of life, not a sin. Yes, hormones do overwhelm us at a certain age, but after a point it is essential that we learn to not be animalistic about our urges. Look, I'm not a monk or a celibate. You wouldn't find medical research papers in my net history. You might find someone in a nurse costume though. But the line I draw is simple. Your urges really become a problem when they come in between you and your service to yourself and you and your service to humanity. They are also definitely a problem if they come at the expense of someone else's comfort or safety. If you're catcalling, stalking, staring, groping, raping, that would be a good indicator that you need to See, what separates us from every other species is that we have a consciousness. We have the ability to control and conquer our minds, and that is the need of the hour. For the safety of women, and altar boys if you're a priest, but also for the sanity of our own brains. Now, I know I wasn't raised in a society that shaped a mindset of equality. I know I looked down on my sister if she was with more guys, but praised my brother if he was with more girls. I know that when I was a kid and I thought of having a wife, it was a given that she should know how to cook. I never once thought that was a skill set that I needed to have, or not having that skill wouldn't take away from any woman's worth. We are a direct product of the misogynist world that we grew up in. But now is the time to make a conscious effort to step away from these toxic outlooks. We need to question our own perspectives. We need to have healthy conversations about these things with each other. We must let humanity prevail in our beings and in our societies. We can't operate on the mindsets of previous generations, not today, no. It is important that women are and feel safer, have equal opportunities, and most importantly can blossom into whatever they want to without being oppressed for being themselves. Ladies, I would love to have you guide and correct me if I have said something wrong. I cannot do justice to all the far-reaching implications of gender biases in a vlog, but I do hope to raise awareness in people, especially men, to the problems that you face. I want to create an aura where we can have conversations about coexisting in harmonious and equal environments. We won't be perfect tomorrow, but I, just like a lot of other men, do care and am beyond willing to learn, change and grow.